for our athletes that are listening that don't have coaches, that are self-coached, what are some things they should be doing on a weekly, monthly basis to make sure that they're keeping themselves in check and making sure that they're integrating sport into their life in a healthy way?
Yeah, I think there's two things on that, which I'd like your thoughts on it, because one of the reasons that I love having you as a part of Purple Patch is you really understand the human aspect of it. You really do take on what's important to this athlete and integrating sport into life, that not all coaches intuitively do it. So for coaches listening, for athletes that are not coached, I think it's these two things, but I want your perspective as well. I'd say the first is exactly the practice that we do, that I've talked about on the show a lot, the Sunday special. And the Sunday special is a simple process of reflection of the week prior, which is going to be my second thing I talk about, and then planning your week ahead. And it's very, very simple, but most people tend to plan their week. They either look at their training or they plan their work or whatever it is. Very few people take an integrated approach where they plan everything. And I think that's so important. And if you're not familiar with the Sunday special, very, very simply, it's how we build training programs. But we start with life. So what are the non-negotiables in life? And I'll give you a real life example of that. When I am doing my Sunday special with Kelly, obviously my partner and wife, we look at the landscape of the week of, okay, where's Baxter Sports, and does he have a doctor's appointment, and who's going to drop him at the bus stop, or who's going to pick him up and take him swimming, all of those sort of coordination stuff. But then also for me, when's Kelly going to work out? Mm-hmm. Not when am I going to work out and maybe Kelly can do it at a different time. When's Kelly going to work out? And we organize those things. So feeding ourselves, it's sort of the logistics around life. Then the second part is looking at work and what are the priorities and those components. And then with the time left over, that's when you as a coach or me building my own plan can start to integrate and have a realistic set of time slots within the week and total capacity to actually build your training. And I think that Sunday special is really important. The second thing, then I'll ask your point of view on it, is reflection. Constantly pausing at the end of a week and looking back and saying, what went well, what didn't go well, how do I need to adapt now and go into that planning process. And I think reflection is a key attribute for high performers across all arenas that I've ever worked with, I would say.
Yeah, I love that. I think one thing that I would take out and add on to is that the thing you talked about where you don't just do the Sunday special with yourself in a vacuum, you do it with Kelly and there's communication. And I think if we go back to not creating triathlon widows and how can you use sport to make sure that your life's actually better, is you need communication with your partner. And if you're communicating with your partner on a weekly basis, and it could be your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, maybe if you are co-founders of a company, you probably need to communicate with your business partner a little bit about, if you're a small startup, a small team, about what's going on in your life and what your competing demands are. So communicating with your partner on a weekly basis will keep you grounded so that you're able to be, I don't know if the word's empathetic, but that you can be really thinking of your partner and thinking about, when is Kelly going to work out? When is my partner going to do X, Y, and Z? And also make room to understand what's happening. We get very focused on our goals. I'm running a business, I'm training for an Ironman, I'm training for a marathon. These are all amazing pursuits, but they're self-centered. Yep. They're somewhat selfish, and we can forget that there's other people in our life, not from a bad place, but it's natural. And maybe there's a week where your partner needs a little more attention, and going out for a really long ride on Saturday isn't the best thing. It's not going to give you the most reward in your life. Yes, you may have a great ride, but your relationship's going to suffer, and then you may, in return, not have a great week of training the next week because you're going to be emotionally stressed from your life at home. And so if you communicate with your partner as you do the Sunday special, I think that is a way to really tie it all together and make sure that it's working well.
I can give you I started to laugh to myself a little bit because I can give you a real life example that was directly about Kelly and I, and I'll share this. So we came back from Hawaii Sunday night. You flew about the same time back to San Diego and me San Francisco, so got back after effectively 10 days away, but the camps are exhausting. We're all like done at the end, because it is certainly not a holiday. And you come back and you're mentally frazzled, you're physically frazzled. But Purple Patch continues, chaos, come back and you say, okay, there's a lot of catch up, a lot of grounding. But by definition, I did on the plane my Sunday special. What do I need to do this week? But Kelly and I didn't do, which we do every week, sit down and say, all right, everything I just went through. And I went in, and she really supportive the first couple of days, because I'm just a zombie. I feel like I'm half hungover and half like I traveled around the world. And we had a whole bunch of meetings. But the whole week, I felt off kilter, and Kelly felt off kilter. And at the end of the week, it's like, well, hang on, are you doing this or am I doing this? And so I didn't, and she didn't have any sense of control. Mm-hmm. And we didn't feel like we moved, ourselves forward, our business forward, our team forward. Things fell through the cracks. And then at the end of the week, we spent 2 hours, because we hadn't done it for a couple of weeks, and we felt off, and we just went through everything. We're doing a house remodel, we're doing all of the stuff in life, and we're building a team, we're rolling out the strategy. Max is coming on Monday, and we set it up, and 2 hours investment, which is way longer than a Sunday special. Sunday special is typically 20 to 30 minutes. But we did it, and it was just like, oh. And this week we've been highly effective. We haven't been less busy, but we both feel like we're in control. And the big thing is we have clarity, almost role, like what we're bringing to it, and we knew what we had to do. So the effectiveness this week is a stark difference. So I think that communication is really, really important.